Hey everyone, with the Christmas season in full bloom, I had to share another very sweet story with you. I came across a story on the net, so here it goes. There was this man who goes to God and says, God, what's the value of life? And so God looks at him and says, listen, I'll give you a stone. You find out the value of the stone, and you'll find out the value of your life on one condition: you can't sell the stone. So the man says, fair enough, and he goes to a vegetable seller and says, listen, what's the value of the stone? And the vegetable seller looks at it and says, I can give you a sack of potatoes for it. And so the man refuses. And then he goes to a jewelry shop and asks a jeweler for the value of this stone. And so the jeweler looks at it and says, I can give you $100,000 for it. And so the man refused, of course. And then he says, no, I'll give you $150,000 for it. And then the man refused because he cannot sell the stone. So he realizes, let me really find out the value of the stone from someone who really knows about stones, who knows the truth about stones. So he goes to a precious stone seller and he asks the precious stone seller the value of the stone. And he looks at the stone and says, this is a ruby. And he puts the ruby on a red cloth, and then he looks up at the man and says, where did you get it from? Because I could sell everything in this world and myself, but never be able to purchase this stone. And so the man is really stunned, and he goes back to God and tells him what had happened. And God smiled at him and said, listen, this stone represents your life. There are people in our lives who will place a certain value on our lives based on their experiences, based on their opinions. And it may vary, but to God, the value of our life is priceless. This life is a gift from God, and it is a season of gifts, and it is the best gift that God could give us, a gift of life. In the Bible, in the book of James chapter 1 verse 17, it says, all good gifts and all perfect gifts come from above, coming down from the Father of lights. And so here's to the gift of life. Let's celebrate it.